They monitored textbooks to minimize the horrors of slavery and its significance in the Civil War, passing revisionist history and racist ideology down through generations. Between 1860 and 1861, 11 Southern states withdrew from the United States and formed the Confederate.
So all these states right here. Interesting. What's the story, people? Welcome back to the channel. We're finding out what actually caused the American Civil War. Let me know if this is right or wrong. Let's go.
Confederate States of America. They left or seceded in response to the growing movement for the nationwide abolition of slavery. Mississippi said, "Our position is thoroughly identified with the institution of slavery." South Carolina cited hostility on the part of the non-slaveholding states to the institution of slavery. In March 1861, the Vice President of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, proclaimed that the cornerstone of the new Confederate government was white supremacy, or as he put it, slavery and subordination to white people was the natural and normal condition of Black people in America and the immediate cause of the late rupture and present revolution. 3 weeks after the now infamous Cornerstone speech, the American Civil War began. The conflict lasted 4 years, had a death toll of about 750,000, and ended with the Confederacy's defeat. By 1866, barely a year after the war ended, Southern sources began claiming the conflict wasn't actually about slavery. Meanwhile, Frederick Douglass, a prominent abolitionist and formerly enslaved person, cautioned, "The spirit of secession is stronger today than ever." From the words of Confederate leaders, the reason for the war could not have been clearer. It was slavery. So how did this revisionist history come about? The answer lies in the lost cause, a cultural myth about the Confederacy. The term was coined by Edward Pollard, a pro-Confederate journalist. In 1866,
What do you guys think? Please let me know down below. This is so interesting. I never knew that was the reason why there was the American Civil War happened. I never knew that. Again, growing up in Europe, we have our own stuff going up here. You guys have your own stuff. We tend not to know what's going on in each other's countries. It's either you're watching Fox News or CNN to find out what's going on. And most of the time, you don't get the full story, do you? So, this is so interesting. This could be wrong. This could actually be wrong itself. You never know what information is right. But yeah, so all those states right there. Wow.
he published The Lost Cause, a new Southern history of the War of the Confederates. Pollard pointed out that the U.S. Constitution gave states the right to govern themselves independently in all areas except those explicitly designated to the national government. According to him, the Confederacy wasn't defending slavery. It was defending each state's right to choose whether or not to allow slavery.
Yeah, see, that's still so crazy to me. The fact that each state have their own laws. For me, that's mad. Why isn't the whole country governed by one law? Like, why aren't you guys following the same rules and regulations? The fact that if you're arrested in one state, if you're wanted in one state and you move to another state, you have to be extradited. Why can't you just go? Why can't I just take you straight away? Like, there's so many laws, like even like gun laws in Texas. I think there's open carry and all that. While like in New York, you can't do that. And I'm like, but you're still in the same country. Also, I found out was it in Atlanta? Was it Georgia? No, not Atlanta. What state is it? There's a state that the governor doesn't support Donald Trump. And he literally speaks openly about how, I think they were trying to bring I think they're trying to bring ICE into the ICE the National Guard. They're trying to get the National Guard. Was it Atlanta? Sorry, I'm trying to think. What state was it? There's a state that they're going rampant, like it's going crazy in that state. There's so many stuff happening, and they were trying to bring the National Guards to calm stuff down. Is it in Minnesota? Where is it? I think it's is it Minneapolis? I think it's probably Minneapolis. I think so. Was it Georgia? No, I think it's Minneapolis. Yeah, but yeah, that's so the fact that even though you don't agree with the president, like the president is voted in, the fact that the governor has the right to do their own stuff in their own state without the president being involved, that's, for me, that's crazy. Because I grew up knowing that if the president of the country say this is how it's been done, it doesn't matter what the governor thinks. But let me know. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing in media. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you.
This expert, It was defending each state's right to choose whether or not to allow slavery. This explanation effectively turned white Southerners' documented defense of slavery and white supremacy into a patriotic defense of the Constitution. The Civil War had devastated the country, leaving those who had supported the Confederacy grasping to justify their actions. Many pro-Confederate writers, political leaders, and others were quick to adopt and spread the narrative of the lost cause. One organization, the United Daughters of the Confederacy, played a key role in transmitting the ideas of the lost cause to future generations. Founded in Nashville, Tennessee in 1894, the UDC united thousands of middle and upper-class white Southern women. The UDC raised thousands of dollars to build monuments to Confederate soldiers. These were often unveiled with large public ceremonies and given prominent placements, especially on courthouse lawns. The Daughters also placed Confederate portraits in public schools. They monitored textbooks to minimize the horrors of slavery and its significance in the Civil War, passing revisionist history and racist ideology down through generations. By 1918, the UDC claimed over 100,000 members. As their numbers grew, they increased their influence outside the South. Presidents William Howard Taft and Woodrow Wilson both met with UDC members and enabled them to memorialize the Confederacy in Arlington National Cemetery. The UDC still exists and defends Confederate symbols as part of a noble heritage of sacrifice by their ancestors. Despite the wealth of...
Yeah, what do you guys think about that? I think same thing happened here during Black Lives Matter, where a lot of old, statues of people that were in support of slavery was taken down. Let me know what you guys think about that. I'm very intrigued because it was so crazy to see how people that they're friends, people have different ideas. For me, if you were a straight out racist when you were alive, and you supported slavery, I'm like, why is there a statue in the first place? Why some people don't believe that? Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know.
Primary sources showing that slavery was the root cause of the Civil War, the myth about states' rights persists today. In the aftermath of the war, Frederick Douglass and his abolitionist contemporaries feared this erasure of slavery from the history of the Civil War could contribute to the government's failure to protect the rights of Black Americans, a fear that has repeatedly been proven valid. In an 1871 address at Arlington Cemetery, Douglass said, "We are sometimes asked in the name of patriotism to forget the merits of this fearful struggle and to remember with equal admiration those who struck at the nation's life and those who struck to save it, those who fought for slavery and those who fought for liberty and justice. If this war is to be forgotten, I ask in the name of all things sacred, what shall men remember?" History has a funny way of bolstering those.
That was very, very interesting. It's good to learn, Before I come down there, I want to make sure I know as much as I can. I'm trying to think, what else did I learn lately in America? Coming to America. I don't think, am I allowed to own a gun? No, I'm not allowed. Do you have to be American to own a gun? I think you have to be American. Or you have to have a green card to own a gun. Is it? I think so. I'm not planning to own a gun, but it's good to learn. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.